Hey, what's going on, guys? I want to make another video on some knife care slash maintenance things. This is an eraser block, knife block, eraser block, rust block, rust eraser. There's a bunch of different names for this. This is a very old school tool used in the knife industry, and this is something that I don't think a lot of people are exposed to. I got such great feedback on my knife steels video. So many people sent messages saying, oh my god, I never even knew that thing existed. I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna try it out. Some people, after a couple days, they saw the video, they ordered one, and they said, this is fantastic, this is great, thanks for letting me know about it. Well, this is another one of those knife care or maintenance tools that I don't think a lot of people even know about. This is old school. These have been around for a long time. I actually had to get a new one because the one I had that I was gonna do for the demo is it's a little nub, and I want to show you what they look like when you get them brand new. These are very, very cheap. All right, you can get these for about $5 or $6 pretty much everywhere. If you go on Amazon, there's one seller, I think it's 99 cents, but then it's like $5 shipping, so that works out. Expect to pay way less than 10 bucks. Like I said, $5 or $6 for these. This is a fantastic tool. All right, there's two main purposes for this. The biggest purpose is basically removing all of your metal particles and dust off of your sharpening, rods and stones. This works best with the fine stones. If you were to use this on a coarse stone, it wouldn't really do the job. You need basically a stone leveling tool. That's a whole different thing. But on all your ceramic sharpeners and all your fine, like Arkansas stone, stuff like that, you can use this eraser to basically remove all the metal. Here's a ceramic rod. Use this for sharpening all the time. I keep a couple of these. These are just short little rods. I'll keep this in my bag or keep it in the drawer. And if I just need a real quick touch up, I just basically do a couple passes on this. If you'll notice, when you sharpen your knives on anything, it leaves this black or grayish coloring, and that is just the metal dust. When you're sharpening, you're taking off steel. All right, so that is left onto the the surface, and even if you have a fine, medium, coarse, it doesn't matter what surface type you have. Basically, all that metal, it clogs up all the little nooks and crannies. Okay, obviously in a fine stone, the nooks and crannies are going to be just really, really small, whereas a coarse stone, you can probably see them with the naked eye. But as you pass with the knife, I'll take this out for an example to show you. This is an old sharp finger, very cool, original Schrade sharp finger. This is my grandfather's knife. But anyway, as you're doing your passes on here, all right, you're leaving small amounts of metal, and that's what you see on the stone. And eventually this clogs up the stone. So if I were to, say, stick in one spot, here's a nice clean spot, right? If I were to stick here and continue sharpening in this one spot, you see this line I've created, okay? That's just a bunch of metal filings, but extremely small. It's metal dust, okay? It's been removed from the knife to reshape that edge, therefore sharpening my blade, right? But if I were to stick in the same spot, this would be less abrasive. This would no longer, eventually would no longer be sharpening the knife, because all I'm doing is I'm rubbing over top of that metal and not the surface. It clogs the stone, all right? So as you use this, and you keep moving it around. When you are sharpening on this, I would suggest after, I don't know, there's no specific number, but let's say 15, 20 passes, rotate it, okay? Get a nice clean spot and work that spot for a little bit. And this is a demo. I do realize that I'm going to have to sharpen the other side as well. But see these different lines that I'm creating? That's because it's where the blade is touching the surface, and obviously because it's round, it's only touching a very small area. If this were a flat stone, you'd have a nice wide line. All right, but basically that's what's happening. We're leaving metal on the stone. How do you get rid of that? Well, hot soapy water works fine, but this works even better. All right, and like I said, this is a product that I don't think a lot of people are exposed to. That's why I want to make this video. All you have to do is literally erase it off your stone. All right, so let's find a nice dark spot so you can see this better. All right, so here's a lot of steel stuck on that stone. Okay, this is no longer going to sharpen properly. So basically just take your eraser and rub it off. All right, this is just a type of abrasive. All right, and you're going to be left with that. It's a bunch of like dust and little pieces of this. And there you go, nice clean spot. All right, so obviously you take this, you rub it all the way down on the the rod here and you rotate. You see I'm spinning my fingers as I'm doing this, so I'm coming in, you know, more surface contact all around that side. And that's it. Wipe off all the little dust we've created. And you can see now we've cleaned our stone. All right, you want a nice, particularly with ceramic, it's nice because it's white. It's very visual, you can see it. If it was a black, you know, dark thing, you wouldn't be able to see the metal as much. But very visual. It's totally white. When you use it, turns gray, black, nasty looking. Basically just use this eraser until it's all cleaned up and it's white again. Very, very simple, very easy to do. Now, all the nice white spots on this stone are going to cut how they're supposed to cut. There's going to be the specific abrasiveness that you need to sharpen your knives. All right, another thing I want to show you guys with this block is, besides cleaning up all your stones, the biggest reason why I like these blocks so much and the most versatility you're going to get out of this is to clean up surface rust and staining. All right, and also patina in some cases. So one of the biggest questions I always get is, how do I get rid of this? All right, my knife looks like this. It was my granddaddy's knife. It was my brother-in-law's knife. I found it in the parking lot, whatever the case may be. I got an old knife, looks like that. How do I get rid of that? And this is another reason why I want to make this video, is to kind of tell you guys, this is how you do it. This is the very best product to use for this. All right, I just cleaned up the blade, okay, by using this, this block wet. And I realized, you know, obviously I'll show you how to do it. So I'm gonna do the other side. So basically this is what this side looks like. All right, now this right here on the front is it's not dirt, it's not glue. All right, if you scrub that with a, you know, brush, nothing's gonna happen to it. It's embedded in the steel, it's stained. But you can clean it off using this. Now you can use this dry or wet. The only difference, you can see I moistened it here, it's got some water. All you do is just literally just dunk it in the water for a second and it'll absorb. All right, by using it wet, all you're doing is you're cutting back on that aggressiveness. All right, it's not going to be quite as abrasive. So if you have really light staining and you don't really want to affect the finish too much, use it wet, very, very light pressure, okay? And then obviously you can go from there. You can, you know, put a little bit more pressure if it's not quite, you know, taking off that, that staining or the rust. And of course, if it's not working wet, then just use it dry. But using it dry will be the most aggressive and using it wet will be less. All right, so basically I clean up the other side, literally just a couple seconds. Let me show you on this side here. So I'm using the wet side of this. All right, you can see how that looks right now. Even if I rub it, it's not going anywhere, right? Well, I'll just use the wet side. It's kind of like wet sanding. All right. And you can use any side of this. Obviously, the big flat side has the most surface area, but you can use the corners if you need to get into tight little spots or serrations or something. You can use the, you know, this side. The entire thing is usable, obviously. So anyway, using this wet, just rubbing the block on the side of the knife in all areas too. Let me get over here in the ricasso and all across that side. Also, keep in mind, you know, more times than not, you're going to be doing this with a sharp knife, so just be careful. Don't obviously move forward and cut yourself. You do use caution when using this. All right, so you'll see you're left with a lot of the material this block's made out of. Looks like a little grit or whatever. It's left on that blade, and that's fine. When you're all done, just wipe it off. All right, so this is the lightest abrasiveness I'm going to get out of this. Just moderate pressure with it wet. All right, so let's clean this off, see what it looks like. All right, definitely better, but you can still see some of it still left there. So now I'm going to come back and use it dry for more aggressive, you know, cleaning. Now I'm going to use kind of the corner here, so I get a little bit more pressure right at that one point. Clean that up. Now you can see if you hit the edge or whatever, little tiny chunks will fall off as well. That's normal. Just how the cookie crumbles, or the block, I guess you could say. All right, take a look at that again. And you can see it's almost completely removed. You see just the tiniest bit right here, but I mean that looks almost like it's brand new. It does an amazing job. The biggest thing you're going to see is right here in the spine. So many of you guys out there, you have old slip joints, or even who knows, maybe your new tactical knife and you live in a really humid area and all of a sudden you wake up one day and holy crap, what happened to it? It looks like that. It's so easy to get rid of that. All you need is this thing. All right, I've been preaching this for a long time through messages, and it's finally time to just see it on video so that the masses can see this. And if you know other people with knives, let them know about this video or let them know about this product, because this is an awesome, awesome addition to any knife nut. All right, especially if you use knives. If you just collect them, well, even if you just collect them, maybe you're storing them somewhere and they get a little rusted and you kind of freak out, oh my God, I can't believe my whatever $200 knife or $500 knife or whatever it may be is starting to rust. What am I going to do? That's all you need. So I'm going to start off with the wet side again. Actually, I'll re-wet that. I'll give you a little demo here, all right? Now, in this particular case, I'm going to put this back in the sheath because I'm doing the spine of the handle. I don't need that sharp edge exposed. You could, of course, lightly tape up your knife if you need to. But this is just for the demo. So, just a little bit of a safer way to do this. All right, so here's what it looks like. This is rust. I'm using the flat side first, and I'm using it wet. I'm going to use the actual side here. It's a little bit smaller. You can see it's making kind of like a slurry. Yes, it's a little messy. No big deal. Wipe it off when you're all done. Alright. So we're going to wipe her off. Let's see what we got going on under here. That thing looks like it is brand new out of the box. Alright, you can see most of my pressure was right here in the middle, kind of faded off, so as I'm rubbing, I'm not using as much pressure over here, so I'm still left with that on the edge here. Alright. Don't mind my don't mind my Yahoo neighbor that just flew by in his 1970 POS truck. Anyway, you can see what an amazing job that does right there. All right, now we're on the edge here. Let me just show you this. Let me get a dry spot, show you the aggressiveness. You saw how much, I was kind of rubbing back and forth. Just on the edge, with it dry, you can very quickly and easily remove that. All right. If I were to keep working on it, you can see I can get it perfect. But it really doesn't take any effort. There you go. So now you guys know what you need if you have any kind of rust issues, surface staining on metals, and patinas that you don't want. All right, this is what you need. By the way, as far as the texture of this, it looks like basically looks like a little sharpening stone. And in essence, it's kind of what it's doing is it's an abrasive. It's removing all the crap stuck to your blade. But it is rubbery. Okay, you can see it's very pliable. If you really needed to or wanted to, you could bend this and it would rip in half and you'd have two pieces. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but if you wanted to, you could. I don't know, maybe you want to share with a friend because you're that kind of friend. But, $5. It costs $5 pretty much everywhere. So, if you're that good of a friend, just buy one for your friend. What an awesome tool. These don't last forever. You see as I'm using it, the abrasiveness comes off a little bit. If you were to hit a sharp edge or something, it will chunk out. I'll just show you that just with my nail. It's almost like a really thick sponge. All right. So eventually this will wear down. But again, they're $5. How many uses are you going to get out of this thing? Realistically, you can probably clean 50 to 100 knives. If you use it how you're supposed to be using it, and you're careful about not rubbing the edge. It's an awesome tool. Like I said, there's so many people out there that they really want to know how to remove rust from their knives, and there's nothing better on the market. All right, so that's the Lansky eraser block. I've only used these for knives. I read the back real quick. It says it's also great for porcelain and brass. Just really cool. So definitely check this out. Again, in my opinion, a must-have for all the knife enthusiasts out there. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Take care.